All right, welcome back. In our last go-around with ISO 14064, we were all about the groundwork. Counting greenhouse gas emissions. That was all about measuring the problem. Well, today, we're making a huge pivot. We're moving from just accounting to taking action. This is part 2, and it's all about how we quantify the solution.
So let's break this down. Part 1, that was about building a GHG inventory, right? It was about calculating the problem, getting that snapshot of a company's impact. But part 2, this is where the real action is. This is about projects. It's dynamic. It's entrepreneurial. We're talking about quantifying the solution, designing and actually measuring activities that cut emissions or boost removals.
And that, right there, is the fundamental shift in mindset. We're done just tallying up numbers on a spreadsheet. Now we're talking about engineering real change. We're moving from a static report to a hands-on intervention that is designed to literally bend the curve on our climate impact. So, how in the world do we measure that change?
Well, it all starts with some beautifully simple, yet really powerful subtraction. See, to figure out how much you've reduced, you first have to know what you're reducing from. And that brings us to maybe the single most important concept in any GHG project, the baseline.
Just think of the baseline as a picture of the future if you did absolutely nothing. It's your business as usual path. So, let's say you want to build a solar farm. Your baseline would be all the emissions that would have kept pouring out from the old fossil fuel grid you were connected to. It's the starting line, and all your progress gets measured against it.
And here it is. This is the engine that drives everything. It's so simple. You take your baseline emissions, what would have happened, and you subtract the actual emissions from your shiny new project. And that difference, that's not just some random number. That is the quantified, verifiable proof of your impact. It's the solution you just engineered.
Look at it this way. That top line, that's the high-emission business-as-usual scenario. The bottom line? Well, that's the new reality with your project's lower emissions. And that big gap between them? That is the value you've created. That is your proven GHG reduction. And for a lot of people, that's exactly where carbon credits come from.
Okay, but hold on. Here's a super important question. How do we actually know a project was done for the climate and not just for some other regular business reason? This is where every single project has to pass what's called the additionality test. It's kind of like the gatekeeper that separates a real climate project from just business as usual.
Let's make this super real. Picture a factory manager in Quetta. Her electricity bill is going through the roof. So, to save $1, she installs a bunch of new energy-efficient motors. Now, emissions definitely go down, which is awesome. But under the official rules, does this actually count as a legitimate GHG project?
The answer is probably not. And why is that? Well, because the project would have happened anyway. It was driven entirely by the need to save money. The climate benefit was just a nice little side effect. It wasn't additional to what any smart business owner would have done in that situation.
And this gets to the very heart of additionality. For a project to count, its reductions have to go above and beyond business as usual. The project has to exist because of the climate incentive, like the goal of earning carbon credits or hitting a climate target. The climate benefit has to be the cause, not just a happy coincidence.
Okay, so we've got the core logic down, right? Baseline minus project equals your reduction, and the whole thing has to be additional. So, what are the actual pieces we measure? The standard breaks it down for us into 3 building blocks: sources, sinks, and reservoirs, or as we'll call them, SSRs.
A really solid, credible project has to look at 3 layers. First, what you directly control, so the emissions from your new equipment. Second, the related stuff, both upstream and downstream, like emissions from manufacturing that equipment. And third, the affected SSRs. This one is so important. It's about leakage. For example, if you protect one patch of forest, but that just causes loggers to go cut down the forest next door, you haven't really created a net benefit, have you? A good project has to account for all of it. And just like that, there you have it. The baseline, the subtraction math, the additionality test, and the SSRs. These are the absolute core concepts, the fundamental logic you need to start designing and building a real-world greenhouse gas reduction project. With this blueprint in hand, you're ready to move from just theory to actual practice, from a cool concept to something that can be verified. This is it. Welcome to the professional world of project validation.
So, what's coming up next? Well, in our next explainer, we're diving straight into Clause 4 of the standard. This is where we get into the core principles. Things like relevance, completeness, and accuracy. Basically, these are the official rules of the game that make sure every project is legit and transparent.
You've already learned how we measure the problem. Now you're learning how to actually build the solution. So, you ready to keep going? Make sure you subscribe and stay with us for the journey.